going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're out here at Eakes Park in Curry Beach, North Carolina. I'm on vacation, playing around. Still kind of getting ready for this upcoming weekend's Virginia Commonwealth Games. Won that tournament last year. I want to try to do it again, but get the full 18 holes this week. Next week you'll have the Virginia Commonwealth Games, and the week after that you'll have another video from me being out here. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into the round. All right, guys, so hole one is a 255-foot par 3. Pretty simple forehand flex. I'm throwing the vessel there from Thought Space. First throw out of the car, didn't really have much of a warm-up. Just trying to get down there. Throwing the ghoul there as my second shot. And I have this for par. Pretty easy little putt. 2 off the first. And try to get warmed up and be even after 1. So playing this course, I kind of made a decision after this hole, because you're going to see I throw a tomahawk here, to throw a lot of forehands and not as many tomahawks unless it was absolutely necessary. Just because I wanted to work on some stuff and get right with some of the discs in my bag that I haven't really thrown all that much. But after my approach, this was my putt for par, and I just left it short. Straddle putt, really low ceiling, didn't really have, I had a line, I just didn't put it in there. So I'll be 1 over after 2. So hole 3 is a 34-foot par 4. A lot of these par 4s are pretty soft, but they're very technical. So I'm throwing Prophecy there, kind of just left it a little out too wide, and throw in my Vibe there on a tomahawk line, trying to get it close to the basket. Ended up a little short. Pitched up underneath the basket. Going to take a par, be 1 over through 3. Hole 4, 145-foot par 3. It just right there in between those trees. And I took the left gap with the ghoul, trying to get, some fade out at the finish. And I didn't throw it well enough. And then my putt was off. So, didn't really have, should have made that putt. Ended up missing it. Oh well. Hole 5, a 298-foot par 3. Throwing my thread here. Just turned it over a little too much. It kind of snakes down there, and I turned it over too much. You can't really see where I'm throwing from, but I had a really bad look. So I had to kind of pitch out and take my medicine, throw my ghoul up under the basket, which this disc is really, really fun to use. I'm really enjoying it. It is this is the one I got from the disc member box. So we'll move on to hole 6, 335-foot par 3. Throwing my Blaze. It's a forehand kind of turn disc that I've got in the bag that I'm liking. Didn't turn it enough. Kind of left it a little too far out wide, and you see that putt just kind of went straight through the chains. So that'll be a second bogey in a row. I'll be 3 over after 6. So hole 7. 185-foot par 3. Just kind of turned over my vessel there. Not a great shot. It's starting to get really hot out there. I got out there around 7:30 to try to beat the heat. Didn't work. Got really hot, probably around right here. So it was worth a shot, I guess. But playing in the heat is something I'm pretty used to. So hole 8. I ended up playing to the wrong basket, but it is what it is. Throw in my ghoul, 185-foot par 3. Absolutely parked it. Best shot of the day, in my opinion. First birdie of the round, and the ghoul looks dope. I love the disc member stamps. They're pretty cool. So hole 9 is a 321-foot par 3. Where that tree is in the middle, it cuts right really, really, really hard. So I'm throwing Captain's Raptor, and I just kind of pulled it a little bit. It still got back right pretty far, but I was way out of position for the birdie. So I'm going to take my Devil Hawk here, just kind of toss it up, try to get a good look at a par putt. And I had a pretty good upshot, through a gap in the trees, and just an uncommitted putt. This round, I kind of didn't realize what I was doing wrong with my putting until hole 16. You'll see when I fix it. But I'll go back to 3 over after 9 holes. Hole 10, 336-foot par 4, and I had a perfect shot with my vessel there. Just a little turnover, hit a tree and bounced right, which is really unfortunate. So I'll take the captain's raptor here, try to throw it through the gap and skip right towards the basket. I got a good skip, just a bad kick off the tree and rolled back a little bit. But I still had a 30-footer for my birdie and left it short and left again. So we'll take a par here, which is unfortunate after the second shot. Second shot was really good. Hole 11, 265-foot par 3. Throw in my thread here again. Trying to, it's another one of those snake holes, trying to flip it up and let it ride straight for a little while, maybe get some turn out of it. And I got a little too much turn, hit a tree, and bounced to the middle, which was just fine. Basket's right to the right there. I'm throwing my vessel high in the air, nose up, letting it come down right next to the basket. I'm really loving this vessel. It's taking the justice out of my bag. I love discs that have that little thumb track there. They feel really comfortable in my hand throwing forehand. So, yeah. So this next hole, 385-foot par 4, throwing Prophecy, just turfed it. You needed to get down there to the corner in order to have a good chance at the birdie here. But I did not. As you can see, I threw my captain's raptor into the trees. Third shot with the vessel, not great. Putt here, just left it short again. And we'll take a bogey here, a 5 on a fairly easy par 4. I just needed to get through the gap. Hole 13 is a 192-foot par 3. It's just down there to the right through that gap you see all the way down. Throwing vessel here and just took a little too inside of a route. It's kind of unfortunate. And then I have this shot with the ghoul that hit a tree. If you get off the fairway and into these bushes here, you basically ought to just pitch out and try to take a par or bogey. But that was my par putt. You can see I'm getting a little frustrated here. Can't really figure out what's going on with my putting, but it's everything's short. Nothing has any pop on it. So this next hole, pretty simple forehand flex. I just turned it over too much with my Devil Hawk, and I told myself not to leave this one short. So I didn't. I just went over the top of the basket. Still not a great putt. Take a par, hole 14, and move on. So hole 15 is a 519-foot par 5, and I'm throwing my new Wanderlust. This is the retooled version that came in the Dismember box this month, and as you can see here, I'm trying. So my old Wanderlust would turn into that left gap. This Wanderlust flipped up straight and flew straight way down there. I mean, I probably got about 350 off the tee. Had to kind of chip out there with my Devil Hawk. This is my approach shot with my vessel, and it was great until it hit the tree there at the very end. And this is my putt for par. Just missed it. Kind of felt bad about that one. Had a perfect line, just left it short again. Now this is where I figure my putting out. Hole 16, 446 par 4. Pretty tough little tee shot, a lot of trees, so I just decided to take my vibe and throw it out there in the middle. So I have my second shot here with a captain's raptor, just trying to get up there, and I smacked into the tree straight ahead of me. Didn't get very far. Third shot here, I'm throwing a yeet, trying to get around that tree, and I hit the tree and kicked way left. So my fourth shot, a little turnover with the vessel, got pretty far down there, and this is where, like I said, I figured out what I was doing with my putting. I wasn't squared up to the basket like I normally am. I was really far to the left or right, and just didn't play it well. This hole, threw my Devil Hawk up there. Really great shot, very easy birdie. Back down to 5 over after 17, which felt super good. Now, hole 18, I really love this shot. This is probably one of my favorite shots of the round. I'm throwing my Blaze here again. A little turnover, and it turned perfectly for me. Just a little too much. Left myself this for an upshot. Throwing Ghoul, just got down there, and this is my putt for par, and cashed it. So 5 over through 18 holes on Joe Eakes Park. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this week's video. Pretty fun little course, I got to say. Just didn't really play very well, and I figured out my putting a little late in the round. I couldn't really get it going, but that's what I get for not warming up and figuring it out before we started. But Could I have taken some more over the top lines? Yeah. Didn't really want to though. Trying to figure out some of the discs in my bag that I haven't thrown very much, and I don't know, I think I'm pretty happy with how they flew and how things went. But anyway, hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Like I said, next week we will have the Virginia Commonwealth Games, trying to get another dub there. Just won that one not long ago. So hopefully we can get a dub there, and that's what y'all get next week. But thank everybody so much for watching. We'll see you next Friday.